This is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever decided to do. The year 1990, the launch of the Hubble Space Telescope, the reunification of Germany, and perhaps most importantly, the first Dragon Quest merch catalogue was released. Okay, maybe I'm slightly exaggerating the importance of that last one, but starting from 1990 through to 1997, Enix released a series of these perfect collection catalogues. I have a few of these merch catalogues. I previously showed them in my Dragon Quest collection video, and in that same video I introduced a stupid idea which has been occupying my brain for quite some time, where I was going to try and complete one of these books, like buy every single item listed in this book, or any of these books, just so I can say I've completed the year 1990 or something like that. Masochism, that's what that is. Defined as the tendency to derive Let's try that again. Generally defined as enjoyment of an activity that appears to be painful or tedious. Who would be stupid enough, maybe even insane enough, to undertake such a incredibly pointless endeavour? Me, I guess. The goal? To try and complete the year 1990 in Dragon Quest merch before the end of 2025. It's December, and that means 2025 is on the horizon, and that's the year that marks the 35th anniversary of this particular book. So the question remains, can I manage in 1 year to collect all of the merch listed in this catalogue? I have absolutely no idea. There's quite a lot in this book, but I'm certainly going to try. The plan is ultimately to update with videos throughout the year, showing some of the merch and updating on the progress of the challenge, because there's so much cool merch in here. I mean, just look at these cool mugs. Think how good they'd look on a shelf. But maybe throughout the year, as I try and collect all of this stuff, we can introduce some interesting twists and additional challenges just to make it a little bit more interesting. And that way, once the merch arrives, we can take a look at it together and take a look at what Dragon Quest merch looked like in 1990 compared to what we see today. This video is mostly an introduction to the challenge, taking a look at where we're at to start, if I have anything at all from that year, and a little bit of setup and plan formulation, so I can pretend to follow a plan for a while before ultimately giving up and just winging it. But that doesn't mean that we can't at least start. So why don't we take a look what I have from this book, if anything. I mean, with all this stuff I've accumulated over the years, we've got to have at least something, right? Let's find out. Right off the bat, I have this. Mine isn't boxed. It's boxed in the picture. It needs to be boxed for it to count. Do I really want this? I mean, it's just a paper bag. I guess I do. Finally, something I have. A napkin that was released in 1988. I did myself the courtesy yesterday of going through the entire catalogue and documenting and making a spreadsheet with every single item which is listed in this catalogue. It took about 2 to 3 hours yesterday, but it's done. I included the page numbers so I can look for future reference, but the point is, I was able to really look through everything and see what I had. And I have 2 items from the list. We have the one we've already discussed, the We Love Monsters handkerchief napkin thing, probably one of the cheaper items, but it's a start. And the Dragon Quest 1986 vinyl soundtrack. I actually have 2 of these, but this is the only one that has the strip here. Now, that adds a fair bit of value to it, so I may not look for the others with this strip. I also may or may not decide to only go for a single format. Some of the soundtracks are available on LP, CD, and cassette. I don't need all 3, but I know myself and I probably will go for all 3. So we are starting with something. I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? Having a hyperfixation is really dangerous. I have decided after looking through the catalogue in detail that there is one item I am just writing off day one. There is a life-sized pirate treasure chest, which when it released cost almost 300,000 yen even back then. If I could even find that, I hate to think how much it would cost me and the shipping, and I don't even know everything that was inside it. Too difficult, too expensive. That one is stricken from the list. But everything else is good to go, and this catalogue is packed. There are games, books, plushies, little ceramic figures, music, and various miscellaneous items. So here's where we stand right now. I have 2 complete items out of 163. Minus 1, 162. That might not sound like a ridiculous number, but there's a lot of rare and expensive items in that. This is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever decided to do. But at least this is everything. Yeah, in 1990 there was also a summer catalogue, the only year that they released a summer catalogue in fact, but with some excellent pages might I add. Remember, this is official. But I think to start I'm going to focus just on the original. Don't want to overcomplicate it, but if it looks like I'm going to do it, maybe I'll take a look and see if I can also add the summer edition. Why am I saying this? The challenge is hard enough as it is. Is this challenge even possible? I don't know. There's a lot of really rare things in this catalogue. Paper bags costing upwards of $100. We'll see, but you can be damn sure that I'm gonna try. One small added concern I have is there's a number of bonus items at the end of the catalogue, which are named as things that could not be purchased back then. Things that were like promotional or, event items you could collect. They're going to be tough to find. If you're interested in checking out the main catalogue in its entirety, I've scanned and archived every single page at high DPI for archival and for my own referencing, so I don't have to keep plucking it off the shelf every time. I'll leave a link in the description, so if you want to see it, it's there. And maybe if you're feeling so inclined while you're down there, you could consider subscribing and liking this video to make my inevitable financial ruin somewhat worthwhile. I'm joking, of course. Kind of. But for real, I would appreciate it and it does help a lot. And wish me luck in the comments or call me insane, or if you have any ideas for any added challenges for maybe future installments and updates, let me know. Because maybe I'll implement some of those challenges throughout the year. Things like, having to find some of this merch in person. Please not that one. I'm in the UK, how am I supposed to find 1990s Dragon Quest merch? But if that gets suggested, so be it. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next video, and if you stick around, maybe I'll see you next year where we'll have our first follow-up sometime relatively early in the year. I have a long way to go, but I can't wait to take a look at some of this stuff more closely. I'll see you next time. I'm really gonna regret this, aren't I?